Hi, I'm Vanessa Wiebe from Tzeachten First Nation, and my question is, if we sign treaty and treaty's broken, what are the repercussions?
The question is, what happens if the parties decide to break the treaty or to go against the treaty in some way? I know from history that the treaty agreements that were made, for example, in Saskatchewan and Alberta, in some cases, the treaty signatories had to take the federal government to court to enforce some of the clauses in the treaty. In every one of those cases, as far as I can tell, the courts have sided with First Nations. Some of them have to do with education, some of them have to do with health, but the courts have interpreted the treaties in a way that assists First Nations governments. Because the treaty is protected by our Canadian Constitution in Section 35, the highest law of our land, it's going to be very difficult for parties not to comply. That's why we wanted the treaty, protected by the Constitution. It's not going to be subject to the whims of incoming governments. They're going to have to live with the treaty as we do once it's signed. We've always wanted our treaty to be a living document that can address changing circumstances as they arise. The Canadian government, up till just recently, has wanted a certainty, an extinguishment of our rights, so that developers and people around our nation could understand what rights they have. They couldn't understand our need for a continuing relationship. Under the current government, however, they are now with us in this desire to have a living document that will address changes as they occur. Only the future will tell us how well we've done in our treaty negotiations. My own judgment tells me, though, that we can become the authors of our own destiny by getting out from under the thumb of the Indian Act. We can take our place in Canada, and that is a tremendous step forward for our First Nations in Canada.